Okay, all right. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone. Welcome to the 5th installment of the Open Web Foundry Demo Day. This is an amazing program because it spawned so many of the awesome projects that have really grown in the Arweave ecosystem. So we can't wait to show you what's in store for the future. And so with that, I'll hand you over to Seb, who's been the program manager of the program this time. Seb, take it away.
Thanks, Sam. And thank you, everyone, for joining us today. We're super excited to host you for the 5th Open Web Foundry Demo Day. Today, you will be seeing 10 great projects with amazing founders that over the past 6 weeks worked tirelessly to turn their ideas into reality. These early projects will be super excited to chat to you after all the presentations concluded, and you will be able to find their own booths in the mingle area outside of the auditorium. So make sure to stick around for that. If this is your first time at one of our demo days, a few housekeeping items before we get started. First, remember to mute yourselves. GatherTown works based on proximity between avatars, and your neighbors won't appreciate ambient noise coming from you. Second, if you have any technical issue, can't access the auditorium anymore, or cancel the presentations, make sure to find our support staff in the chat and in the mingle area. They will be happy to help you out. Alrighty, let's get this started. To kick things off, I'd like to welcome Amy from Open Index Protocol, who will tell us all about indexing on Arweave. Hey, Amy, how's it going?
Hey, Seb, really happy to be here.
Well, we can see your slides. Take it away.
Okay, great. Well, hi, everyone. I'm Amy James. I'm the co-inventor of Open Index Protocol, and we're bringing it to Arweave to give it a unified index. Think of it like protocolizing Google search. Web 2 is made of siloed applications that don't share an index or a distribution system. Arweave has solved storage and distribution. Without a unified index, it's repeating the siloing problem. You can search tags or for a TXID, but you can't search it like you can search Google. To demonstrate the power of Open Index Protocol for Arweave, we'll walk through this wireframe. On Web 2, a creator has to publish content to each different silo. And right now, it's the same on Arweave. We're using music in this example, but it really can be any kind of data. So with Open Index Protocol, a creator can publish a single copy of content, and other platforms can display and sell it for them. And app developers can share content libraries without even knowing about each other. They don't have to conform to the same schema or anything rigid. Anyone can make a record template, anyone can iterate it, and anyone can normalize it to a different format. This gives developers composability for indexed content and record templates. And then the user can discover the song directly from a platform, or it can be promoted to them by an influencer. When the user sends a payment, the influencer can get a portion, the platform can get a portion, and the creator or creators get a portion. In this case, Pianity made money selling a song it didn't capture. And we just used round numbers in this example, but they can be anything and can be extremely complex if needed. Okay, so now let's imagine that BandPlay doesn't show the song because they only feature content that gives them 20% of the sale, and the creator's only offering 10%. The creator has control because they have the most incentive to optimize their pricing and terms, but platforms and influencers can decide which content they display and sell. So what this means is Open Index Protocol creates a market between creators of content, influencers and platforms who distribute and sell it, and users who pay for it. And users can be confident that their payment is going to the right person and that the content they receive is authentic because the spec has a verification option. Think of it like a decentralized blue check mark. It works with Web 2 or Web 3. And again, thanks to indexing and normalization, developers get composability of verification systems as well. And we'll use this unified index to release Alexandria, the first search engine for Arweave and the surface web. It's how users can find which platforms have the content they're looking for. And users can know that they're seeing all content in the weave, not just content from a single siloed application. Open Index Protocol for Arweave means creators control their terms, upload once, and can have many platforms display and sell for them. Platforms and influencers can compete to sell content they didn't capture. Users get transparent search of a unified index, and developers get to build with a unified index and have shared content libraries and composability. So to make it happen, we're launching a new network for indexing, a sort of sister to Arweave, using Spora mining with a utility token called Search. We'll run games on it to incentivize a rapidly growing index and provably transparent search results. And we'll launch Alexandria, the first search engine for Arweave and the surface web, along with open source libraries for app developers to integrate search into their software. Now that you've seen where we're going, a quick look at how we got here. We've been working on Open Index Protocol since 2014 and have indexed scientific records with Caltech, property records for Wyoming, Rwanda, and next is New York City with Overstock subsidiary Medici Land Governance, news with the Middle East's largest independent news platform, and many others. And now we're really excited to bring Open Index Protocol to Arweave and launch the search token. If you're interested, we'd be stoked to talk with you more. On this slide are some ways to connect with us, and I hope you'll come by the booth to chat. Thanks so much.
Awesome. That was really great, Amy. Thank you very much for presenting that. And I'm super excited, as I imagine the rest of the community is, to have indexing on Arweave. All right. Thanks for that. Next up, we have Sharon presenting to us WorkerDAO, which will make it much easier for people to submit and complete tasks through DAOs. Hey, Sharon, how's it going?
Hey, Seb. It's going great. How are you?
All good. Excited to see what you have to present for us today.
Thank you. So hi, everyone. I'm Sharon, and I'm super excited to be presenting WorkerDAO, a protocol for collaborative work. I've done some work in open source before, so I have some experience in internet scale collaboration. And I also drive technology as group CTO for a company that recently went public at over $1 billion. So I also have some tech experience. Okay, so let's get started. Working for a DAO is difficult. This is because small tasks are easy to execute but difficult to track, while larger tasks require cumbersome proposals and lengthy governance processes. This makes participation in a DAO extremely difficult and disincentivizes newcomers. Just last month, the top 3 DAOs, Uniswap, BitDAO, and Lido, held almost $8 billion in their treasuries, yet there were less than 90 proposals submitted during the entire year, with the average voter participation clocking in at just 0.5%. We also noticed that there were very little tools that incentivized users to work, resulting in a noticeable lack of participation. To solve this, we created WorkerDAO. WorkerDAO is a protocol that makes it easy for people to contribute, unlock rewards, and finally get paid. Here's how it works. To become a contributor, you start by unlocking a reputation NFT unique to the DAO. These are programmable NFTs that evolve as users gain more reputation through proven work. Reputation NFTs form the base layer for social capital, which is used to incentivize newcomers and promote wider participation. Once a reputation NFT is unlocked, users can participate in various forms of work. Work can be as simple as submitting an idea or staking tokens for an idea that you believe in, or more complex, like participating in a quest or challenge. Everything is run entirely permissionlessly, so DAOs don't need to worry about tracking individual submissions. Once you're done contributing, you earn rewards, unlock reputation, and make money proportionate to the work submitted. The reputation NFT also evolves, so you can unlock upgrades and show it off on social. This also has the interesting side effect of promoting the underlying DAO as more people gain reputation and unlock levels. Okay, now for a quick demo of the platform. You start by connecting your wallet and accessing the WorkerDAO app. You can then join a DAO, and you get to see the different DAO native NFTs. Once you join a DAO, you mint the DAO native NFT to get started. Users can then progress in levels through proven work, and work ranges from ideas to signaling, or you can even participate in quests and challenges. We can also track the leaderboard, so users can aim to become the topmost contributor. The protocol can also be connected to any platform, such as Discord, to track submissions. For the purpose of this demo, we've linked the application to a Discord bot that's connected with Python. So I can use /commands, for example, and do things like submitting an idea or viewing the leaderboard. Here you see me submitting a simple idea and staking some tokens on it. Okay, back to the presentation. So why is this valuable? User credentialing is a massive unsolved problem in Web3. This is due to the rise of anonymity and pseudonymous identities. Why not use proven work as a reputation-based credentialing mechanism rather than using something invasive like scanning eyeballs or asking users for real-world information? Second, DAOs promise better models of work, valuing the collective. Yet even today, power is restricted to a limited audience. Reputation-based credentialing unlocks the ability to allow community contributors to now participate in things like governance and voting, creating better models of internet-scale collaboration. Finally, at WorkerDAO, we get to work with DAOs to create positive sum behavior. In addition to the feel-good factor that this enables, network effects amplify growth and helps us bootstrap distribution. Under the hood, we obviously use Arweave's data storage capabilities, but also use smart contracting with Arweave and profit-sharing tokens to create long-term value. DAOs can now distribute up to 20% of all rewards to a PST, so users can also earn a small portion of the rewards proportionate to their contribution forever. So what's in our roadmap? Today, we are already building version 1 with a smart set of engineers and designers. We will complete this in 90 days and launch to our first DAO partners. We then rapidly scale from there with a public launch aimed at Q2 next year. Before I end, we have something special planned. Starting today, we will be issuing our first wave of limited edition reputation NFT packs. 5 DAOs have already claimed this offer. So if you run a DAO with over 500 participants or know of a DAO that badly needs this, drop us a note. That's it from me. Super excited about the future. If you are a member of a DAO that could benefit from this, or an investor interested in learning more, come find me in my booth. Thank you, everyone.
Awesome, Sharon. Thank you very much for that. That was really, really neat. All right, for our third presenter, we would like to bring Lucas to the stage to talk to us about Permigrade. Welcome, Lucas.
Hi, thanks, Sebastian. Good to be here. Give me 1 sec, sharing my screen.
Yep, and we can see it.
There we go. Present. Oh, sorry about that. Beginning. All right. Hi, my name is Lucas. I'm here today to present Permigrade, the future of interactive, permanent, and tradable assets. My vision is to utilize new Web3 technologies to open the door to new and liquid interactive NFTs so that all NFT creators, whether they be emerging artists, real estate developers, video game developers, can all participate. And then as I'm doing that, I plan to build up a portfolio of NFT creators, and from there use that to launch new auction and collateralization houses that will allow people to transact NFTs and access new financial services in a fair and open way. A little bit of my story. I came up with this idea over the last about year. I started working with local artists I knew from high school, college, and my wife, Ada, runs a digital art startup called Share Creators. So I was working with them, trying to get them involved in the NFT space. And we found that the emerging artists really had really struggled to get into the space to begin with. And bigger than that, they had a lot of great ideas of stuff they wanted to bring to the space that could have helped them get discovered, but they weren't able to launch it because the current centralized auction houses restricted what they could do. They specifically wanted to do new forms of interactive art. They wanted to allow group ownership of art, and they wanted to collateralize their art. And additionally, I found others who wanted to do stuff like video game assets, museum pieces on there too, and they couldn't do that as well. So from that idea, I came up with this idea to generate new and interactive NFTs to bring people to get artists into the space, and from there use that to launch a decentralized auction so they can actually use them. Now I have a brief demo for where I'm at. This is a real interactive art piece that has been launched on Arweave. This is what the public would see when they come to this address, a NFT from Share Creators of a forest creature, along with whoever the owner is. Now we can switch to the owner screen, and you'll see that the owner actually owns a series of art pieces, but the owner of the NFT can decide what piece to show. So in this case, they're going to go from the neutral forest creature to the angry one. And while they're doing that, just gonna say real quick, this is deployed with Solidity smart contracts, but I'm right now in the process of converting this to Arweave. And then we can also change the art style. In this case, they're gonna choose the saturated version. I'm gonna skip forward as soon as they're done. So we're gonna skip forward to 103, and you can see now that the painting is now saturated, and if we check out the public screen, You can see now that the public will also see that the painting's saturated and they see the new angry art piece. So going back to the presentation, I'm going to touch base on some limits of the existing centralized auction houses. They're closed. You can't interact with anyone you want to. They're more constrained. They heavily restrict the type of NFTs you can buy and sell and how you can do that. They're more corruption prone, and they're also more costly with middleman fees. My hopes is that the advantages of a decentralized auction houses will help deal with that. They're cheaper with no middleman fees. They're more liquid by allowing stuff like group ownership. They allow the collateralization of NFTs, which I'll talk about in a future slide here. They're more open. Anyone can build anything they want. Any type of NFT can be launched, and you can sell them however you want. And they are less corruption prone with no middleman, and they're globally public. And artists in Argentina could sell their NFT art to someone in France, and that person could actually bid with an NFT. So they could bid for it in land if they would like to. There would be no restrictions. Oh, and there's no single point of failure as well. Now I'm going to touch base on the design. This is a smart contract-based system with a token for utilized for bidding, staking, and governing the protocol. Users can create auction houses and collateralization houses. The auction houses are pretty straightforward. You create an NFT for people to bid on. The collateralization house is kind of a reverse auction house. Users can pool their funds, and other people can bid for access to the funds at the terms they set, with NFTs representing their collateralized asset. After users bid on the fund, once the auction is completed, the transaction happens and the assets switch. If there are any illicit auction houses, the token holders have the ability to close and govern it to make sure that nothing illicit happens on the network. Additionally, you can set up oracles and token holders to verify transactions. That allows you to tie auctions to trigger on certain events. Maybe you only want an auction to fully occur if your favorite sports teams wins, or maybe you want to do a real estate transaction, so you set up an oracle with your broker to verify the auction happens. A little bit of background on me. I got into crypto in 2012. I'm mining Bitcoin to heat my family home. Ended up selling in 2013, which was a very regretful mistake. Graduated from UIUC, led the blockchain R&D team at Capital One, and formed my own blockchain and healthcare startup, and grew to about 20 business clients. Formerly Alphabet, I'm currently a senior engineer at Facebook. A little bit on the roadmap, working on prototype and interactive permanently stored NFTs this quarter, specifically converting to Arweave. I already have a first client, Beast Pets, a VR game. I'm helping them tokenize their assets. I'm starting work on the decentralized auction houses, and going in the next quarter, I'll be researching other use cases, building my team in fundraising. Going from that, I am looking for help starting my development team and industry connections, but anyone who wants to contact me and talk, here's my contact information here. I'll also be available afterwards, and I have a handful of NFTs for Beast Pets and share creators to give away to the first people who should come. So looking forward to meeting all of you.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Lucas. Yeah, we'll make sure to get to your booth quickly enough so that those giveaways do not run out. All right, next up we have North, who will tell us a little bit about how using a version control system like the one that GitHub uses can transform the self-publishing industry. Hey, North.
Thanks for the introduction, Sam. I'm very excited to be here, and I'll just get right into it. Hi, I'm North, and today I want to talk to you about how retext will revolutionize the self-publishing industry. Many Web 3.0 publishing solutions utilize NFTs to monetize written content, but they do so in a limited way, as they only support buying, selling, or transferring of stories. But self-publishing can be a lot more than that. What if authors want to have someone translate their content? Or what if they want to earn royalties from fan fictions on the original characters? Retext empowers writers through a publishing version control system that lets them decide what they want to do with their content. Just like on GitHub, Retext uses a version control system to allow writers to collaborate and build together multiverses alongside other writers through forks and branches. Each content published onto Retext is a seed that a writer has absolute control over. They can choose to approve fork requests from other writers in exchange for a cut of profits. Essentially, we'll be allowing writers to monetize the content itself and even the concepts, characters, stories, and even worlds from their content. Let's see a few examples. Say we have a novel called The Witcher, originally published in English. A Russian-speaking fan could then grab the original version and translate it to Russian, with the proceeds being split between the Russian translator and the original author. Or perhaps another fan would like to use a character in the original novel and use it for fanfic stories, basically forking the story. Until now, they couldn't monetize this because of copyright restrictions, but here again, both the fanfic and the original author will be remunerated. All of these changes are tracked on Retext itself, making sure that original content creator and any content innovators are compensated fairly for every form of the content. A big problem Retext tackles is that of fanfiction monetization. Fanfiction is mostly unauthorized writing by a fan base on an existing work of fiction. This has always been basically impossible to monetize, both for the original content creator and for the fan author. Through the utilization of smart contracts, Retext lets original content creators authorize fans to innovate stories, arts, sequels based on the characters, concepts, and the world behind their work. Both the content innovator and the original content creator would be compensated fairly for their work. Simply, this is how it works. For content creators, they simply just have to log in with their wallet, upload their content to Retext, pay a small tip and some storage fees on Arweave, and now this is stored permanently in a censorship-resistant way. However, for content innovators, it follows the same initial steps, but they just have to check the terms of forking, and if they agree, it's the same process of paying the storage fees and the new content is published. The original writer gets fairly compensated, while the new content innovator gets a chance to earn. Now let's take a quick look at the demo. As of now, this is our vision of a platform, where content prices are displayed as ink. Ink is algorithmically determined by reader votes. Each content will have its unique price required to access. When a reader sees a content of interest, they can click into it and view the price changes and the descriptions of the content. As a reader, access to the published content is free, but restricted. With enough R tokens, or like in this case, the content has an ink value of 2.021, the reader will need to have more than this amount to fulfill the challenge and be granted access. We call this challenge-based access, which eliminates paywalls and implementing what would be a hold. After assessing and reading the content, the reader may then be able to give one vote by picking tags. Readers can pick a few tags based on their opinions, and the ink will change accordingly to their sentiment. These tags are shown on the cover page here to illustrate key aspects of the content in a clear way. And this concludes the demo. I'll be transitioning back to the slides. This is how our roadmap will look like down the line. We'll be closing the funding rounds in the Q1 of 2022. In the Q2 of 2022, we'll be parallelly developing the smart contract and the platform functionalities. In Q4 of 2022, we'll be soft launching Retext with basic reading and publishing functionalities. While lastly, in Q1 of 2023, we'll be finally implementing the forking functionalities of the platform. In conclusion, Retext is ushering in the next era of publishing. Decentralized publishing, where fan fiction writers can legally monetize and content creators can collaborate to create content in a way never before possible. Join me later in my booth if you're interested in changing self-publishing forever. Thank you.
Awesome. That was great, North. Thank you so much. Now I'm happy to welcome Chris to the stage. Chris will be introducing us to Mark, a product that will enable better content discovery with bookmarks and clever incentives. Hey, Chris.
Hey, Seb.
We can see your slides, so take it away, friend.
Great. Hey, I'm Chris from Team Mark, and I'm excited to be here tonight. With Mark, we aim to improve personalized content discovery and to fix the internet's core business model. But let's start with a simple question. Why do we waste so much time on social media? If you're anything like me, you spend a lot of time on crypto Twitter, just scrolling through posts, trying to separate the signal from the noise. And keeping up what's going on is really hard. Now imagine how hard it is for newcomers to serve the highest quality projects, learn about crypto terminology, and avoid getting outright scammed. What would help is if we could overlay our own filters over Twitter's feed. For example, showing weekly highlights or related tweets, allowing us to skip the endless scrolling and dive deeper into certain topics. But Twitter won't allow me to plug in my own algorithm because with losing my attention, they lose ad revenue. So to solve this, we just built our own solution, which uses our tweets as input and personalize our feed by overlaying custom filters. And now we're opening it up for others to use and build on top. This is Mark. a social bookmarking tool that we built during Arweave Open Web Foundry, which allows anyone to curate, share, and discover high-quality content, and to permanently store it on Arweave. As a user, I simply start by saving an URL using our Chrome extension, which stores the bookmark on the PermaWeb. And once a transaction is mined, it shows up in my public feed, where now I can subscribe to other accounts and tags and upload individual bookmarks to further personalize my feed. Also, I can share my own list of favorite tweets with friends and followers, just like an automated personal crypto newsletter. So this way, newcomers can now plug into my experience and learn about crypto without having to build up a following first. And similar to Twitter, you can build feeds by following accounts, but unlike Twitter, in Mark, you can follow and even create your own filtering algorithm on our full data set and on imported external data like social graphs. Beyond showing the latest or trending content, this way we can, for example, allow users to log in with their Twitter account to filter their existing personal feed. And we can even skip the login by providing a list of all links shared by crypto influencers. Similar to Hacker News or Reddit, this allows you to discover daily, weekly, or monthly highlights without having to build up a following. So finally, we solved our problem of wasting time through endless scrolling, and we can focus on more important things. So this first version of Mark focuses on improving crypto education for newcomers and saving time for busy crypto entrepreneurs like you and me. But actually, these features are not supposed to be final. Instead, we have an open architecture that allows users and developers to access the data stored within Mark to play around with and create various recommendation algorithms and custom interfaces. And to bootstrap the system, currently we are importing content from Twitter. And once we have a critical mass of users, our focus will shift to making data access super easy for developers to work with. So how do we keep everyone in the system incentivized to continue engaging and contributing to Mark? Thanks to Arweave profit sharing communities, we have an incentives layer built right in. So while users will be able to select filter algos and UIs, the developers who create them decide how they want to be compensated. For example, their service could be free, they could take a small fee, or users could opt in to watch an ad to pay the developers. And this would not be a Google ad, but a native Mark ad. So how is that superior? Because the system is open, publishers could plug into the algorithm output and offer to pay users to place ads in their feeds. And Mark, combining more diverse data in different platforms, gives publishers a more complete image of one user's taste. So thus allowing them to target users more accurately than they could ever do on any existing centralized ad marketplace. These incentives ultimately create a self-sufficient ecosystem. And to coordinate all these parties around common goals, we could think about a common token, perhaps Mark, that could handle the transfers of fees as well as decentralized governance decisions in the DAO. Finally, scaling our ecosystem will allow us to extend from crypto education into adjacent verticals, which lie in a similar problem space of content discovery and recommendations. For example, our Chrome extension could show social context directly in the maps and the Netflix UI, allowing you to see recommendations by your friends and Twitter followers instead of strangers or opaque algorithms. So this is what the development currently looks like. Right now, we're finishing up our POC, and in the next year, we'll be wrapping up fundraising in Q1. We focus on adoption and then on easy data accessibility for external contributors. Building all of this, we are a team of 2. I work on front-end design as well as adoption economics, and my co-founder Leon, who's full stack dev, engineers the backend, APIs, and the blockchain logic. Our idea came up collaborating on earlier projects, and thanks to Arweave, we can now finally realize it. Thanks for listening, and we can't wait to mingle with you in our booth. Thanks a lot.
Awesome. Very well done, Chris. Super interesting stuff. Next, please welcome TP, who will explain to us how the spotting economy can become a reality using Spot. Welcome, TP.
Hey, thanks, Seb. Can you see my screen?
Yep, you're all set.
All right. Hello, everyone. We are happy and excited to be part of the Arweave Demo Day and present our project Spot. We want to thank the Arweave team for providing us with this opportunity. Let's get started. So what is Spot? Every single retail investor in the crypto space has heard of a coin that gave unbelievable returns. We are talking 500 times, 1,000 times the initial investment. and they want to spot their big story in the crypto space. In other words, they want to spot the next Bitcoin or Ether or Solana. So we built coin spotting as a tool that does just that. Help the retail crypto investors spot the next big coin. Let's take a look. The tool has multiple dimensions that the user can use to spot their big story. They can go with similarity. They can say, hey, show me coins like Solana. Filter based on parameters that we think provides capabilities to spot the next big story. There are parameters around markets, social, on-chain, and so on and so forth. My favorite is dev. The dev signal from collaboration based on GitHub never fails. We can say, show me coins in a specific coin range and look at the one that's got the maximum signals for collaboration. Click on that and move in. The tool is built as a Web3 app. I got my Arweave wallet connected, and I can say, this is my conviction for this coin. Say, I'm convinced 100% I want to spot this coin. The tool comes back and says, hey, are you sure you want to spot this coin? This is the coin. This is the price at this point in time. Are you sure you want to spot? I say, yes, I want to. When I do that, the tool at the backend registers the spot on Arweave. As the user does this more and more, he or she is building a portfolio of things. It's a track record of the things that I spotted, the things that I thought would do well. I can go look at the top spotters in the system. I can say who's doing well, who's not doing well. I can choose to follow people with the confidence that whatever I see on their portfolio are things that they actually saw at a point in time, and they registered the fact on Arweave, which the fact is going to live forever. Moving back to the deck, how have we structured cost and incentives? There are two categories of user on the platform, spotters and followers. The spotters pay a little amount of AR for each coin they spot. Part of that goes to registering the spot on the Arweave network, and the rest goes as they bet into a pool. The followers pay a little amount of AR to use the platform, the tools that we saw, and that AR goes directly into the pool as well. The majority of the pool is distributed as rewards to the spotters and followers, and the rest goes to the spot PST holders. How are spotters rewarded? The rewards and fees are dynamic. The cost to spot goes down as the spotter adds more value to the system, and the rewards go up. It is set up this way to strengthen the signals emerging from the platform. For the followers, the rewards are set up to encourage platform growth overall. The platform fee will go down as the user adds more value to the system. So how's it going? We have been in a private alpha for 2 weeks now, and the results have been stunning. Users love the tools, and coin spotting is fast becoming an addiction for many of our private alpha users. The plan is to scale Spot to many more domains. It is a core belief that the act of spotting winners early deserves to be rewarded. If you spot something, you should be able to stake some crypto and enjoy the rewards if you get it right. In crypto, we have seen learn to earn, play to earn. We believe it is time for a new paradigm in crypto, spot to earn. This is our team. My name is Srini TP. I've been a software developer for 20 years now, 5+ years in crypto, and my co-founder is RK. He is a quant. He's been a quant throughout his career, focusing on trading and data science. We strongly believe that the world needs to spot this button. It has to be decentralized, permanent, and profitable. Come spot us in the coffee and mingle area. Thank you.
Awesome stuff, TP. Thank you so much for that. Next up, we have Patrick from The River, a project that helps amplify the voices of creatives working towards environmental and social equity. Hi, Patrick. We can see your slides. Take it away, friend.
Thank you very much, Seb. It's great to be here. And thank you, everyone, for good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for being here as well. I particularly want to thank the Arweave team and community for all you're doing to help the river. I'm Patrick Phillips, co-founder. I've been the founder or the COO of 3 tech startups. I've worked as a user experience principal, a magazine publisher, and a journalist. The River is a social impact media DAO. It fairly compensates creators and supporters, provides people an immutable, uncensorable voice, and it funds social and environmental impact initiatives. The River's publishing and commerce decentralizes the way change funding happens. In terms of content, Think story value meets funded social impact, where all content, whether images, video, audio, or text, is an NFT. In the middle of the screen are cards. Cards are published alongside each story. Think of the cards as mini stories that can be collected and curated and are tradable, and they can be published cross-chain as HTML NFTs. Broadly distributed story value and our mobile focus contribute to a widely accessible, change-centered idea commerce. Individuals, organizations, and businesses will publish content on the river and will be paid by supporters to do it. Currently, we are building out our contributor community through early bird token distribution. We've begun to work with organizations and are reaching out to journalists, academics, and artists. And we'll soon begin building relationships with B Corps and other companies that focus on social and environmental benefit. In this demo, I want to support Karen Bell's work by buying a card of her academic paper on gendered environments. When I click buy, the information updates on the card and the dynamic NFT contract next to it. I want to thank Koi for all your help. The transaction and edition IDs and my profit sharing token balance and EQs are also updated. I want next to add this card to a curation I'm putting together. When I click the plus sign, it's added, and I'm rewarded with 2 EQs, and my wallet is updated. In this case, the EQs will remain locked until a curation event happens. These transactions, curation, sharing, and in addition to crowdfunding and auctions, will be available with all story content on the river. This is an HTML NFT on the same card on the PermaWeb. Once on the PermaWeb, story NFTs can be published to any chain. Our motive is simple and powerful: build broad-based visibility, support, and purposeful commerce everywhere. Story NFTs and our EQs work well together to build income and value for the river. Our tokenomics can be viewed as an equitable distribution of impact, value, and ownership. For example, if you look at the grant tree on the right and follow the distribution from income to grants, it may become clearer how our tokenomics works. A supporter buys a card to support a creator. Portions of that purchase go to the creator and to community pools. Portions of the community pools get divvied up to grants and ops, and social environment initiatives are funded through our grants pool. Impact funding can be similarly followed from community to grant pools. Most interactions on the river are incentivized by EQs, and all votes and contributor activities must be backed by locked EQs. Here's a 1-year roadmap. We'll begin to fund our first year in onboarding now. We will roll out a base set of story and card templates and a base set of creator support interactions for V1 in May. Socially, following other creators is essential. We'll roll that out in August. Integrating governance and proposals so that they are highly accessible is slated for December of next year. We're actively seeking 2 co-founders, one for community and one for grants and funding, and we'd love to talk with smart contract security, front end, and UX contributors. We are creating a social impact publishing ecosystem and a community-run movement that directly funds people and initiatives creating social and environmental change. Join us. We'd love your help bring the river to the world. You can DM me and follow us at @theriver_press. You can email me at patrick@theriver.press. Better yet, come see me after the presentation. Let's talk. Thank you so much for your time.
Awesome stuff, Patrick. Thank you so much for that. Please welcome now Jim and Slava from Art by City. We're getting rid of the hurdles artists face when joining digital marketplaces. Hey, guys.
Hey, Seb.
Hello, Sebastian. Pleasure being here.
Hey.
Thank you for having us.
Awesome. Yeah, well, thank you very much for joining. And we can see your screen, so take it away.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. My name is Slava, and I'm joined here by my friend Jim. And today we're here to talk about Art by City, or as we like to think of it, the artist PermaWeb. We're building the protocols and tools necessary to display, curate, monetize, and discover artwork. We're all familiar with marketplaces like OpenSea, Rarible, Foundation, but we're not familiar.
Slava, sorry. Go back real quick.
Oh, sorry. We consider art to be anything displayable in the web browser, including images, music, video, VR experiences, or even code. And once physical art is digitized, it can benefit from the same advantages as digital art. We're all familiar with marketplaces like OpenSea, Rarible, and Foundation, but we're not familiar with what the experience is like for the content creators. These platforms attract artists, but many aren't happy with the restrictions of the current model. Take the example of Meredith Marcone, a painter and multimedia artist that we work with. She's currently begun to monetize her art through NFTs and experienced a number of challenges that turn off artists like her in the digital space. One problem Meredith highlighted is that her art is scattered on a variety of platforms. If she publishes on Makerspace or OpenSea, she can't display it anywhere else. There's no way of displaying a full portfolio, no way of verifying her art, and no way of connecting with her community in a decentralized way. So the best she can do is provide a list of links on her webpage, which is obviously messy and very limiting. When it comes to selling her art, Meredith is limited to NFTs with little to no licensing options. Not all platforms honor royalties, while some platforms take more in fees than you stand to make from the art. To recap, the high barriers of entry, lack of community and verification, limited licensing options, and poor monetization avenues constitute big obstacles for artists to join these current platforms. Art by City tackles these problems head-on by giving artists control over their digital presence. With a personalized gallery experience, fully customizable Web3 monetization, and metadata curation, and a suite of popular licensing options. And now Jim will take us through a demo.
All right, so here we're going to start off on our publishing page. Choose an image to publish. This is a work by our friend Christian. It's called Candy Flip. We'll provide a URL slug so it's easily discoverable. Which is created in 2014. I'll tag it with a city code so it's discoverable later. And this is ink and marker on pad. Let's see, published the Foundry 5 demo day. Choose a license real quick. And submit. Waiting for the wallet to pop up. So this is a local demo. I'll go ahead and submit this. And now real quick, we'll have to mine the transaction and we'll get a notification that our artwork has been confirmed by the network. Taking a look at our profile, we can see it's published. And one of the alternative monetization ideas we're thinking about is having users tip artists for artwork they like. So in order to collect something, you'd have to tip them. Here's an example of an art piece by our friend JP that's been liked by 6 artists so far. Let's take it back to the presentation.
Thank you, Jim. What sets Art by City apart from the other platforms is that we truly prioritize the artists that we work with them instead of forcing them into a generic mold. We're open source, transparent, and the development is community driven. So far, in the 6 weeks of Open Web Foundry 5, we've onboarded over 40 artists ranging from photographers and musicians to 3D animators and sculptors. We're working with 2 art collectives and an underground music label to design an artist blockchain workshop, which serves as both blockchain education and a resource for community-driven development. We plan to end our first fundraising round in Q1 of 2022. We're currently working on publishing art and related metadata to the Arweave blockchain. After the community is satisfied with these features, we plan on implementing basic social features to facilitate the discovery of art. Once art is discoverable, the next step would be to roll out engagement-based monetization in the form of Art by City profit-sharing tokens. We then want to address licensing and royalty concerns, as well as continue to work with artists that want to customize their digital presence. We'd like to thank the rest of our team, the Open Web Foundry, and all of the artists that helped shape Art by City. Head on over to artby.city/register to reserve your username and earn early contributor rewards by pre-registering. We'd like to thank you all for taking the time to hear us out today. We're Art by City. We'd love to see you at our booth.
Awesome stuff. Thank you so much, guys. That was really great and beautiful slides, by the way. All right, next we have Jake and Andrew from Openset. They're building decentralized open marketplace for data. Welcome, guys.
Awesome. Thanks, Sebastian. Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Is this a bit better?
Yeah, having some mic issues. I can take over, though. Awesome. Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us. I'm Andrew, and I'm presenting here with Jake. And my team and I are building Openset. It's a platform for decentralized data infrastructure. So Jake and I, cue the problem slide. Sorry. Yeah. Jake and I come from machine learning and AI backgrounds, and we found it almost impossible to find usable data to train our models. Existing data marketplaces have tried to solve this problem, but there's too much friction. Questionable accuracy, variable pricing, and hazy licensing plague the existing marketplaces. Data pipelines are opaque, and data ownership rarely points to contributors. The vast majority of training data is siloed within companies and not publicly available. This isn't a technology problem, more so it's an incentive problem. Jake and I set out to build the data ecosystem we needed. Well-documented, highly available data sets that are built and maintained by the communities that use them. No more data silos or monopolies. Dataset curators collaborating on a permanent open data layer means version control is built in and accuracy control has incredibly high visibility. Datasets are easy to fund, build, and monetize, and any company can access affordable training data and push to production. The best technology wins, not the best incumbent. Our first proof of concept is a data marketplace on Arweave, which was the obvious choice for us. We're currently finalizing a shared ownership protocol that would allow for users to buy and sell ownership of individual data sets and their dividends. We'll continue to build out the marketplace with encrypted data access tokens, licensing subscriptions, data versioning protocols, and more. For now, you can see a user can upload and download data sets and tip users for good data sets, similar to a decentralized Kaggle Lite, with built-in economic incentives around data set quality. The three key ways we envision financialization of data sets are this: data access, data bounties, and commercial data licensing. Data access is a common use today. Pay some price, X for the data. Data bounties make it easy to collaborate with others on sourcing, labeling, and cleaning data. These don't have any great Web 2 comparators. Commercial licensing is currently one of the biggest pain points in data marketplaces. We solved that by making it easy and automatic to issue expiring commercial licenses, providing datasets owners with recurring revenue as long as their data is generating money for third parties. I personally ran into this issue in prototyping a feature that used a classification algorithm at a prior startup. The data was available in an open data set, but there was no commercial license and no good way to acquire one. So the feature never made it to production, and this is a very repeatable problem across multiple companies. Right now, we built out an initial data marketplace and are finalizing a shared ownership protocol for data sets. We're also working closely with multiple companies, which we've been lucky enough in the last 6 weeks to make a lot of traction. Most notably, Walmart Labs, Accenture, TELUS, and a handful of startups and very close friends as well, to secure pilot partnerships and future customers. Our round is closing by the end of the year, and then we'll onboard additional talent to help build strong incentives and monetization features for our data providers. In early 2022, we're very excited that we'll also be able to develop Arweave's profit sharing tokens to fit the Openset use case and release a community token for early supporters and contributors of Openset as well. We've been very fortunate to assemble an incredible team very early before our first funding round. In addition to myself and Jake, we have 2 amazing engineers and recently onboarded a community manager as well. We're looking to add a designer and another engineer to the team. Thank you so much for your time. It's been a pleasure presenting. If you could follow us on Twitter, where you can find and join our Discord, we'd love to hear from you after the presentation at our booth as well. We're raising our seed round, so please touch base with us if you're interested in what we're building. And apologies for the audio issues.
Not at all. Actually, that was a really good save. Thank you very much, Jake and Andrew. That was great. Okay, last but not least, please welcome Doug from PeerPiper. PeerPiper helps streamline the process of sharing encrypted data on Arweave and Web 3.0 more widely. Welcome, Doug.
Thanks for having me back, Seb. And I personally like the robotic voice, but that's just me. I'm Doug Anderson, and I'll be presenting PeerPiper, which is a protocol that combines Arweave, encryption, and a next-generation wallet to enable Web3 users to save, share, and eventually sell their data packages in a decentralized manner. So after having moved around the country for 20 years or so, being a naval engineer, then winning a couple of Web3 hackathons, I realized there's still no DApp out there where I could just upload and share my ever-changing address or phone number or whatever, email address. So that made me realize that we really still have this problem in Web3 where there's no real easy way to share. There's no static URL or handles like we have in Web 2.0. Furthermore, if I wanted to put this information, my data or an app on the web, I can't encrypt it. There's no really easy out-of-the-box way to do that, which also prohibits me from monetizing my app. And also, if you found a way to encrypt it, the other stumbling block I ran into was you have to download an app, you have to integrate that specific app. They're very siloed, they're hard to extend, which is really inhibiting the innovation, sharing, and adoption. People switch off the website if it doesn't load in 3 seconds. Try convincing your friends and family to download a web extension if they know how. So what we'd really like to say is, hey, stay in touch with me. I'm at douganderson444/contact. That's the app. Let's unlock it for you, Sam. And furthermore, we can't really say, if you want the pro version, I'll also unlock that for X amount. Say I'm the web developer that's wanting to monetize this. But that's all changing right now. We have recent innovations with SmartWeave, advances in encryption, and a new wallet paradigm that I invented allows us to overcome these hurdles. So what would that look like? A new Web3 capability would look like a portable encryption wallet, in addition with all the signing that you get with a regular wallet, built right into the DApp. And that would encrypt and decrypt your data as you desire and shuffle it off to Arweave when you want to make it part of the PermaWeb and by perma-pinning it. So what does that give us? Well, it gives us, we skip the whole download step. If there's no browser extension and it's built right into the DApp and you take it with you, we don't have to download. So great. We skip the account sign up, the email, the password, all that NOS. This portable goes from DApp to DApp. And we also get an identity encryption layer. This is really why I built the wallet, was so that we can encrypt our data, encrypt our apps, and therefore we can monetize it, which is fantastic. So what do we get? So we upload a version, and maybe we want to make it freemium. The first version everybody gets, go ahead and try it out. We allow everyone access to it. But maybe the second version, it's an alpha version or a beta, and I want to restrict it to only one of my wallet connections. And then maybe I get to a pro version, which I want to sell. And I select who has access based on who's paid me. I see this as a great opportunity for Web3 because it generates a paywall for the users. They're both data and app developers, essentially making a decentralized Web3 app store. I also see this in terms of profit sharing communities and profit sharing tokens as a larger potential than just tacking on 10% fee to the pennies that we pay for Arweave data. It's fairly cheap. Whereas if you're tacking on a 3 to 5% fee for something that's dollars, tens of dollars, or hundreds of dollars, that would be a potentially larger revenue source. And I also see this as a, pardon the pun, greenfield space, because I haven't run across a lot of apps out there that actually offer this, let alone ecosystems. So let's get into the demo to see where we've got with the proof of concept so far. So right now we would have the user go into their wallet and create a key pair. It starts off blank, so you've got to generate these. And it does both an RSA key pair and an Edwards key. Now we're going to copy the wallet URL to the DApp that we want to use it in. In this demo, you'll see that they're the same, but it could be anything on IPFS, on Arweave, even on your local machine. So we just paste that in there and we connect to the DApp. You'll have to authorize the connection to make sure there's no malicious site getting at your access. And you'll see that the keys that are in the DApp are the same key sets that are in the app on the other screen, which means that we have access to our keys, but it's almost like a screen share. You can see them, but you can't quite get to them. So with these keys that we can see but can't quite get to, we can create a dummy app. This is just some dummy code here to show the functionality. And you would save that to your Web3 data silo. So we encrypted it, so we can authorize ourselves to decrypt it. We've got the key. Fantastic. There's version 1.0. Now what we want to do is pin this to Arweave. So we use a library that I wrote during Open Web Foundry called rlog, and we save that using a SmartWeave contract. Of course, SmartWeave contracts, it takes 2 transactions to do, and we are pinned. Fantastic. Well, let's say we want to upgrade our version. Maybe that was the freemium version. And once we've updated rlog, we want to go and upgrade to version 2.0. So we'll modify our code, upgrade our app, change the data, once we get through some typos, and save it. And it'll re-encrypt it with a new key that only your authorized contacts can see. And of course, we'd have to upgrade our SmartWeave contract again to reflect the new updated data. All right. So where do we go from here? That's where we got to for the Open Web Foundry 5 is that proof of concept prototype. In the next quarter, I intend to hash out the MVP for the save and share so we can actually send these encrypted bits of data and apps to friends and family, with the follow-on quarter being a save and sell, enabling the monetization mechanism, then exploring B2B sales options and other value adds for individuals, businesses. And I see this as a great opportunity for joint ventures between separate businesses. So that's me. I'm Doug Anderson. Feel free to connect with me anywhere that matters. I'm at Doug Anderson 444, being the last three numbers from my military days, which are no more. Happy to connect with people. I've got a growing list of alpha testers, and happy to have the pre-seed and angel funding discussions. If you're a fan of email, you can throw your email in at PeerPiper.io until the site becomes live, and we'll just connect with each other's public keys. So Seb, I think I'm passing it back to you. If you were taking the mic back, that's all I've got for now.
Thank you very much. This was great. Well, that wraps it up, everyone. Thank you very much for all the amazing projects that presented today. Thank you for sticking around and watching all the presentations, but don't go anywhere. Well, actually, no, yes, go to the Mingle area and find the booths of the projects that we saw today. Thanks again, and we'll see you very soon. Have a good one.